Lovely. You decided to bring a friend up here. Mind you, you guys can just lost it. Like, cunt bit me.
Jeez, it's a bit dark. I must have not seen him there.
Oh, lovely.
And he's going to commit suicide.
Yeah.
You said they were smart.
I think he's still alive.
They're resilient, are they not?
I mean, not usually. I mean, typically it's just one bullet and they drop like a fucking fly. I know. They're at the base of the building and they're up there.
Once given an opportunity, they should. That's quite alright. I think this should be quieter, more efficient. So we can get it to cooperate.
Fucking type of rifle is.
I don't think he's coming.
Yeah, I think he comes right there.
Fair enough. Well, it's good to meet you here, Mr. Stitches.
Stitches. Nice to meet you as well. I briefly remember meeting you when I worked at the trading compound back in Green Mountain.
Yes, that's correct, Dr. West. But we had a limited interaction, but it is unfortunate what happened with that trading post. But then again, that's sort of the same story I see over and over.
Well, I mean, you're not going to expect much when they're trying to spew neutrality, but then two of the leaders decided to pick two different sides in the war. So, I mean, it got what was coming towards it. I filled my contract out, and I left. I don't really give a shit beyond that.
Yes, understandable. I trust you heard the final broadcast of Mr. Reed.
Aye, took a bit to settle in, but I think I've made peace with it.
Yes, if I'm being perfectly honest, I was fairly confident it was just one of his pranks, or perhaps a trick to lure people to the location so that he could, I don't know, have some fun with them, but I nevertheless felt compelled to investigate the site. I was familiar with the grain silo he was referring to, and, well, it seemed he made good on his word.
I always figured that someone else would be the one to do it. But that's the way that most of us go. I can't remember the last one that actually took his own life. Maybe Eugene. Fuck if I know.
If you have access to a tape player and are up to it, I've reported my findings from the result of the post-mortem examination on this tape, so you're welcome to, if you'd rather not, that's fine too.
I might have someone else who didn't know him as well listen to the tape. Tell me the parts that matter the most.
I
don't know, when I delve too deep into his body.
He was a mystery, that's for certain. I'd met him a number of times, and there was a rumor about a place that he came from that was controversial in nature. The there was no evidence that I was able to find to support that it ever existed, and the things he claimed happened there were almost unbelievable. And yet, when it finally came time for the autopsy, I discovered on his body ample evidence that this place actually did exist. I couldn't help but wonder if you knew anything about it, about what happened to him.
All I know is that he was with me and the rest of the inmates when, riots started out in the cell block 20 in that whole region, and when the riots, came out because one of the bitten got ashore from a prison transport coming from Meshkina. All hell broke loose. It's a bit of a fog to me. I remember it involves one personal little issue I had to solve with a guard who took me left eye. Beyond that, we didn't get too buddy-buddy. It was a very different kind of climate in the family and the inmates. You started anew. You didn't really have a past. Didn't talk about it too much.
Oh, I see. A fresh start, a new beginning. He certainly seemed to take advantage of that. The history that Joffrey carved out for this region is undeniable.
I was gone when he made his little kingdom. I had some business out in Czech and in Russia, but I came back and I heard quite a bit about it. And the last thing I remember before I headed out was him and fucking... Oh, bloody hell, I can't remember the other brother's name. They usurped the fucking throne from the king. Well, the father. Ruled around like a fucking god, though. Not many of us were fond of him after some events that he didn't really prevent. He treated everyone like shit after a while. Kind of, I freed you because I got the key off of one of the guards in the riot. Got us all out. Now you have to listen to me forever. That sort of thing.
Must have been difficult to live with him lording that over you, but... Well, I suppose times change, and so do people.
A lot of us are dead now. I don't think anybody else is left other than me. I hear that the father still might be alive, but that won't last for long if I can help it.
Oh, I see. He did mention his wish to be buried with his brothers and sisters. He mentioned a church in Novi Sabor.
Yeah, we got a lot of history there with the family. It's where we first started worshipping, and it's where we took our first, victims. We started going into the woods in Gorka, where the green house out in the middle of nowhere. Started burying people underneath the apple trees until a sense of decay got too much. We had to move out there. People started smelling it from all the way in fucking Goglover. I had to bail it.
Good lord.
And that's around the time I went my separate ways with the inmates, and I ran into Sylvester Todd, helped him start up those clowns. And I think most people know how that went, and then I was with the Reapers. Before the Sonny Mitchell snafu.
And over all that time,
it was a pretty fucking interesting time.
Between you and the now deceased, I suppose.
Yeah, that would be correct. We went our separate ways after I joined with Todd. But I haven't heard from anybody from the inmates, any edition of them, that's still alive, other than potentially the father.
Do you think if he were to be buried, that it would be prudent to broadcast a radio announcement as to the location of his burial, so that those people from the past might have an opportunity to pay their respects?
I think that would do fine. Oh,
You don't think
send the
they
radio
would
broadcast to them.
desecrate the corpse, would they?
If I go back there and I see the grave excavated, I'm going to hunt everyone down with fucking dirt on their clothes and skin them alive and fucking pin it around the walls of the church. Make a nice fucking canvas.
Yes, I would certainly hope that they would at least be civil enough to be respectful in death. But then again, I can never really say. Some
You'd
of
be
these people
surprised.
are troubled.
When Miller died, you know, the original, well, one of the original people, there was a fucking massive expedition out for his goddamn corpse to dig it up and piss on the fucking... Everyone wanted to desecrate the old bastard. So we had to move his fucking corpse in the middle of nowhere. Nobody fucking knows where he is now. Except for me and a handful of others.
It's
Hopefully,
discouraging news.
people don't do the same thing to Joffrey.
Yes, I certainly hope not. He was an intimidating fellow, but he was always relatively respectful to me. He had a strange code to him. He could be incredibly intimidating and strike fear into hearts, but at the same time, if you leveled with him, if you were honest with him, and demonstrated a modicum of respect, he would generally at least let you live. He wouldn't always leave you with all of your earthly belongings, but at least he wouldn't mutilate you like some of these others do.
I feel like that's a way that most of us work. All you got around now is rats and snakes and wretched little vile cunts. They say anything and they do anything to get out of any situation in life. Trying to manipulate you, but if you're smarter than them, then you see it. And you just put fucking around between their eyes. If you're merciful. People like him, they're a dying fucking breed. There ain't many people that have balls left.
I can't help but agree. I never thought I'd look back with fondness and miss the days of the family and the clowns, but at the same time, some of these other newer groups seem to be violent, but in a different sense, almost like they've got something to prove. They want to prove to everyone that they're more savage and lawless than those who came before them. So it's like they're trying extra hard to be
over the
unreasonable.
fucking radio.
And, particularly over the radio, yes.
When you pay a visit to them at their compounds, you'll find a very fucking different story. Found that out myself 2 days ago. It was whatever the fuck they are. The mix talking all that smack over the fucking radio, acting like they're the big. Yeah, they got a lot of dead to fucking bury, and they're about to have a lot more.
It's funny
what's
how
the old
mighty,
fucking
like, they
Bible
roar like
line?
lions on the radio, but when you show up with force and with guns, suddenly they're meek as mice. Oh no, that wasn't me on the radio. Oh, you misunderstood. Oh no. I have no problem with you.
Well, I mean, we had 10 people surrounding this little barn, and this one guy wearing a fucking night helmet, we could see his, armband, and he's like, we're telling him to come out, and he's got his gun up, and he's trying to tell us that he isn't. So we all just pointed our guns and fired, and, he got filled with about 100 rounds. And then they tried to claim that they won over the radio, so I don't know what's wrong with people. I mean, there is that verse though in the Bible, the meek inherit the earth, or something along those lines. Or the strong die killing the strong, and the fucking cowards hide in houses till it's all over.
Well, I suppose you're right, but all it takes is a few strong individuals to wait patiently and bide their time, and then it's a very different situation. One more akin to Charles Darwin. Let all these young, newer people sort of cull themselves out. Bring back a certain balance.
I mean, I've seen a lot of fucking retards kill themselves and get killed, but there are always more. So let's hope natural selection speeds the fuck up. I'm
Yes,
doing my
well,
very fucking
everything needs
best to
to
assist
speed
it,
up.
but I can only kill so many.
Well, I do appreciate you doing your part, of course. I'm a man of science, but many look to me as a beacon of goodness and medicine, and for good reason. They seem to think that my opinion
Is
is
that
that no
why
one should ever
everyone,
die and we should all
walks around
hold
like they're fucking
hands.
lobotomized?
That may
Yeah,
be.
they all walk around like they've got a fucking hole in their head.
Well, I'm not blind to the
I
fact that
mean,
some people need to die for the good of mankind, of course.
just slip up with your scalpel and an operation.
Believe me, I've thought about it. And I wouldn't ever rule it
Oh,
out.
I've done it. I used to be a medical, uh, oh, sort of a medic, but not really for long. I had my license revoked and I was imprisoned for 20 accounts of alleged war crimes. I
Yes, I
sort of
thought
kept
I recalled you
slipping
telling
up
me about that.
repeatedly on yeah, that's kind of why I was never allowed to go near the medical areas back in the camp.
That's probably why at that trader camp back there, people found it so tenuous that you were the resident, what amounted to a medical professional when that other doctor, what was his name? Holiday, it wasn't around.
Holiday. They didn't like Holiday that much either. Supposing he used leeches and, maggots to deal with most necrosis.
Yes, well,
I
surprisingly
don't know what
effective. I
Holiday is
wouldn't discount it.
anymore. Yeah, I mean, it's cost efficient, you don't have to fucking go digging around all these hospitals. You just go nearby fucking pond, pull them out, or leave a corpse decaying in the middle of the field, come back in a couple of days.
Precisely. As long as he knows what he's doing, of course, it can be quite beneficial. Of course, hygiene must be very meticulous, but yes, yeah. Maggots are also incredibly useful. It reminds me of back where I'm from, there was a man that was rather famous because during the summertime he didn't own a lawnmower or cut his grass. He simply had a flock of goats that would come and graze on his lawn and keep it relatively short. So there are certainly alternative methods to achieve the same ends. Some of them are less than conventional, but highly efficient.
Yeah, like if you're in prison and you have a toothbrush and the other guy hasn't. And if he's asleep, the toothbrush is going to win.
Uh,
Or am I thinking of
Precisely.
something else?
No, that's an excellent example.
My life experience is fairly limited outside of that sort of four stone walls and the field of combat. It's not even real combat really, just I was mainly just maintained to a field camp. I never fired a gun in the war. I didn't even start firing guns for about a year or two alone. The rest of the inmates were content with letting me just use a bat or some other more fun means of fighting. But when I joined the Reapers, they decided that that couldn't keep happening. So they just decided to give me a gun I couldn't mess with, and I started running around with machine guns.
Well, I suppose it's something of an upgrade. As efficient as a baseball bat can be, as driving home certain points, a machine gun can be, can tally quite the body count.
Yeah, they usually just propped me up on a hill and I'd fire until the mag ran dry. And then I'd just go down and get more ammo off the corpses. We didn't really have time to stop and chat, except for at the end of the day when we had killed about 9 people and, just did a tally after all the fighting. So many casualties we sustained, how many people we killed, tied them up on the wall in Prud Castle. Miller's old board's still probably fucking around there. Somewhere. Don't know how much the kill cam ended up at.
The castle, just the southwest of here.
It's in the middle of well, if you go to the Alta radio station just to the south there. That was the Reaper's
Ah, I
first
think I've
base.
seen it.
But then we moved all the way up, we moved all the way up towards, some fucking fishing village north of Sven. Then the lumber mill in Steroy, and, that's the last one that I remember.
Ah, were those... Oh dear, those were bodies that were hung from the walls of the castle? I'm afraid they were nothing more than bones with rope tied to the wrists by the time I saw them. I thought they were
No,
sticks, but
I mean, we hung a couple people, but mostly what we did was we had a board, like a wooden pallet or something around there, and we tallied the amount of kills that we got every day. Like one of the ones behind you. We just propped it up and mounted it to one of the inner walls.
well, it's some form of record keeping. I'd say that's commendable. No matter how gruesome the tally may be.
Well, it kept our spirits up.
Wish I had a similar tally of lives saved, but it would be embarrassingly low compared to the kill count that some people have racked up. It's far more difficult to save a life these days. Everything out in this world tries to kill you.
Take one. Well, the way that it kind of worked was, it wasn't just like, an individual's kill count. Every day, we'd be getting in I'd say at least 4 gunfights. There was a lot more bandits back then than there were now. I think that at that time it was just us and the regulators standing about 30 different bandit groups. Including my former brothers and sisters that were aligned with Joffrey. I had to get into some fights with them. And, Todd. So I had to kill my brothers, my sisters, and my bastard son.
Bastard son?
I'm not really his, biological father or anything, but when I ran across Todd, it was just him and his 2 little fucking dickhead friends. I ran into him at Green Mountain Tower, and they were trying to hold up this fucking priest or something, so I took out my sword, and I told them, let me show you how this is fucking done, and, I told them what we did in the inmates, and I just had some fun with them, and they decided to keep me around, and Todd kind of bonded with me, and I looked down and saw him like a son. I told him a lot of things back when he just showed up to this country. Raised him like he was my own, and eventually he was able to take care of himself a lot fucking more. I mean, he always could. He was fucking hardened a hell of a lot more. He had his own people, he didn't need to rely on me anymore. So I kept in contact with him, and I went off to join the Reapers. And he still radios me time to time to let me know how he's doing, but it's not the same relationship it used to be for the most part. Though I do surround myself with many older of my masquerade comrades.
So then, Todd is still alive? There have been rumors that he hadn't been heard from in months, and that perhaps he's fallen ill, or perhaps succumbed to his wounds.
No, he sent me a radio broadcast a couple of days ago, and he's fucking hyper as a fucking woman on crack or something. He's bouncing around wherever the fuck.
I see the rumors of his demise were greatly exaggerated.
I don't think it's that easy to kill that motherfucker. Back when I was with him and we only had 4 people, we went up to the regulators who had 15 and we managed to take the entire fucking island.
Good lord.
Then again, it's the fucking regulators, so the sea police weren't doing their fucking job very well.
That's a good point.
We just had one person up on the lighthouse across the fucking ocean with a Mosin, and he just started picking them off on the fucking bridge. And then me, Todd, and Jesse just stormed on the fucking bridges and killed them all. With the rifles like I got in the end. It wasn't a very long fight. They were all fucking dicking around in one big cluster. And they tried charging across the bridge, and that's where most of them died. Stragglers got picked off by the sniper.
Dear Lord. And, I've heard, quite a few comments from the, patients that I treat about, the regulators, but, to be honest, very rarely does anyone have anything good to say about them, which is, surprising. From what I understand, they're supposed to be what remains of law enforcement, and they're supposed to, apparently uphold some code, some semblance of civility and law and order, but, all accounts I've heard seem to indicate that they're more of a factory of mistreatment and abuse.
You didn't know how about that warden? I don't think many people might have fucking remembered, but he wasn't the actual warden of the fucking complex. None of them were. They're a bunch of dickheads that followed fucking Tate around like some cunt. He was actually a fucking bandit when this all started. He started robbing UN people and shooting them at VMC. Killed all a bunch of people. Then they started going after him, so he took the armored, and anyone that fucking stormed ashore, he robbed. And then they kind of made up this bullshit story that they were the fucking good guys. Otherwise, when we were in the Reapers, we wouldn't have fucking gone after them. But Tate was a fucking bandit, so we didn't really have much options.
We'll see how long they continue to stand for. Surprisingly, they're still around, apparently, but I rarely ever see them.
I heard they all fucking died a while back, but I guess things are too good to be true sometimes.
Maybe a month or two ago, I was walking through Gorka, and I came across a young lady named Harper who was, distraught and terrified at the sight of me. She was rambling about, please don't hurt me, not gonna steal from you, mister, that sort of thing, and I eventually gained her trust and provided her with some food and got her talking about her circumstances. She claimed that she had stolen from someone and that she had ended up in the possession of these regulators. Apparently they systematically abused her and threatened her, told her that they were going to offer her a work release program and put her on some sort of a parole system that they'd be following up on, and if anyone discovered any hint of her lying or stealing from anyone, that they would decapitate her. This story was only further confirmed when I spoke to Tate himself, as well as Mr. Murdoch, who was working with him. They were quite interested in getting back in the company of Miss Harper to make good on their threats. Rather troubling.
That's the difference between me and my people and the regulators. They do all these threats of parole and imprisonment and oh wow, we're gonna rehabilitate these people. It's a bunch of fucking pussy bullshit. If someone fucking wrongs you, you put a bullet in them. If you want to fuck with them, you work them till they're on the brink of death, and you send them out naked in the middle of the fucking... You want to get something done, you leave a message that they don't fuck with you. You don't give them a slap on the fucking wrist and then follow up saying, oh, we'll get you next. You make your fucking point the first time. You don't want to shoot them? Fine by me. Give them a fucking shovel and make them farm till the back gives out. Then fucking release them when you're done with them. If they committed a crime, they better fucking do it.
As long as the punishment fits the crime, I'm all for it. It's a bit dark. Do you mind if I were to spark a light, or are you averse to such things?
Some people aren't so
crazy about flares.
Make sure that it's on my left side.
Yeah, I'll just put it right over here.
You can toss it, it's all good.
It's a bit
So
better.
you're setting up here or something with the tent?
I've been using it as a makeshift mortuary. The basement is completely full, I'm afraid, and some of the containers have begun to clamor. I'm afraid they contain infected, but there's only very small metal shacklings keeping them in. If any one of them were to rust over or pop out, I might be in a fight for my life at a moment's notice. So I've taken up residence in the third floor laboratory and been using the roof here as a mortuary.
So you live here. Not that far off from my typically hang out. I might pay you visits. There are people. Yeah, you know that, right? I don't know what the fuck they call themselves. They just stick around with people in this fucking city. I don't know how ill-mannered and stuff they are, but when we rolled through here, they took it upon themselves to find every one of our cars and, rip out all of the parts. And then they came begging for our help and protection about a week later. So, I don't know what the fuck is with people around here, so just a heads up.
Interesting. I have seen them, but I've kept my distance and allowed them to simply walk by while I hid in nearby houses. When the daylight comes, if they're in town, I tend to trek a little farther to the south in a town called Gvozno. There's a small clinic that I spend my days there, filling out paperwork, researching samples, and documenting my notes, catching up on my research, that sort of thing.
I'm very surprised that you actually managed to get anywhere without being seen wearing what you wear. I spotted you from a mile away.
Oh, yes, I don't normally wear these, these are my work clothes, but when outside of my research and performing medical operations or research such as autopsies or that sort of thing, I typically I'm much more comfortable in a civilian garb, a simple button-down shirt and some slacks, a bit more comfortable for me.
Yeah, I would hope so. I was about to say, I'd be very surprised if you managed to survive this long wearing that sort of thing all the time.
Yes, I learned very quickly not to wear the sort of thing it makes me stick out too much, becomes a target for bandits. For some reason, it brings out the aggression in people. I'm not sure how many people have had bad experiences with doctors, but, well, they all seem to want to take it out on this doctor, so I try not to paint a target on my back.
I mean, you'd be surprised how many people wear fucking bright clothing. I've been into fights with bandits and they'll be wearing fucking those bright blue goddamn bags. And it's like, thank you. Oh, wow, you're really clever, hiding in a tree line. You fucking moron. And then we light the whole goddamn thing up and it fucking turns red. Like, Jesus Christ, if you're gonna fucking hide, you might as well get behind a bus because that's fucking better cover and camouflage because that's the only fucking bright blue thing in this goddamn shithole.
Well, I suppose that's Darwinism at work right there.
Yeah, and it's like, what is it? Fucking camouflage, yeah. If the turtle's got a bright blue shell, then it's not gonna fucking make it that long, but one with the, the green shell, that one will live.
Well, in nature, yes, the most well blended in, such as the chameleon, tend to live if they're passive. However, I find also that the most toxic and poisonous of creatures on this earth are typically bright neon colors.
Yeah, they're bright colors. But the thing, the only thing that I fucking feel like, that I'll catch or be infected with if I touch a fucking blue bag like those is, bad taste and fat fucking hell. I mean, I could probably catch a bullet if I fucking...
Yes, well, we never know which firefight is going to be our last, or then again, which day or which sunrise is going to be our last for that matter.
Whoa. Oh, that's why I don't think about it. I just focus on killing the next person, and then, enjoying my company with my people while it laughs. And killing the next person. You don't think about what do I do if I die in a firefight? What do I do this? What do I do that? You put your scope on them, you pull the trigger, and then you say, where is the next person? And you rinse and you repeat until you're dead, and then you wonder, where is the medic? Or, where is, the bodies? I need some more ammo. And then you go and celebrate with your mates, and, then you can dick around a fucking fire and, joke about and relax for the next few days.
Not exactly the routine I've become accustomed to, but I'll keep that in mind in case I ever were to change my ways. I'd never say never, after
You
all.
probably shouldn't. It's not an enjoyable lifestyle. You never know when, it's gonna be your last conversation with your friends. That's the only thing that ever gets to you. You don't have to give a shit about when you'll die. You just want to make sure that they don't die. It's not the best thing. If you win, they're gonna... Everyone that you just killed, all their mates are gonna threaten you over the radio, despite getting their shit. They act like big dogs and threaten. And then you kill them again, and you kill them again, and you kill them again. And then they just fuck off eventually. Where's the fun in that? You want them to admit that they're a bunch of fucking rats. Oh, it never happens.
I find just by being a fly on the wall and observing such things that oftentimes the rats and cockroaches rarely understand that they are rats and cockroaches. They're typically the ones who think that they're the big dogs, and reality rarely sets in.
I tend to agree, but I've been a fly on the wall and me and all my people were for months, despite numbers being fairly high. And, well, we figured it was time to make a show of force. And put a presence on the map, you know? Because they wouldn't learn. They just don't fucking learn. You take their eye out, whatever. You make one of them deep throat a fucking chainsaw and send his body back to their leader. You make one of them sterile by injecting a random concoction into their, testes that you just found in the prison, and it glows. They don't listen, but they scream.
Oftentimes, there's only one thing that these types of people understand, and that's what's in your hand right there. Takes them a while to learn the lesson.
I think they'd understand the one on my back a little bit more.
Yes, perhaps. I'm not so good with different guns. As long as they shoot bullets, I suppose they should be good enough.
All I know is that the one on my back is louder, and they don't walk away. This one, it's pretty quiet. Fires fast. Doesn't shake like a motherfucker. I've had to put 8 rounds into a dude's fucking dick before he drops, so I prefer the one on my back. I'm just carrying this for the missus. She likes the little carbine and sorts. I just found this fucking thing in the field on my back. Someone just left it in a bright blue fucking tent. Magged and all. So, I'm gonna assume it was a gift.
The missus? So is there a lucky lady?
If you see a girl that looks dressed all in black and she's wearing a gas mask and she's lugging a backpack like yours and it's all black and she's constantly in a pissy mood, that would be her.
I'll keep my eyes peeled. That sounds like a rather unique description.
I mean, you'll probably recognize a lot of my people. We don't all wear like fucking masks. That's just kind of me and her and maybe one other, but we're fairly distinct. You won't recognize who they're part of. No. If you find out who they're with, you're not going to fucking forget them anytime. A lot of them are ex-masquerade. A lot of them are, we've got a couple of X-ray. One of them doesn't even drink water, he just drinks, like, vodka and kvass.
Oh dear. The nutritional value is practically negligible, but whatever suits his fancy, I suppose.
I mean, he's a fucking built like a goddamn tank, and He's pretty fucking scary with his goddamn Russian accent, and he carries around a fucking machine. So, he must drink a lot of fucking beer, I don't know.
Well, as long as it works for him, I suppose it's not a regimen I'll be adopting anytime soon, but, well, if it works for him, then, more power to him. It's not a, health regimen I'm, familiar with, but, well, in the Middle Ages they used to drink a lot of beer. It has a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Nutritional value. It's almost like a meal in a bottle. So, sure. It keeps him going. Why not?
I don't know, he's an interesting fella.
You seem to have quite a knack for acquiring interesting friends, Mr. Stitches.
I mean, I don't want to be around boring people, do I? Fucking hell, I've done that before. I mean, at the trading compound, most people were interested, but god damn, I couldn't stand most of the fucking, patrons. God, it was fucking just a headache and a half. They wouldn't talk to you. They wouldn't fucking ask you any questions. They'd just go up to you. You'd be standing on a fucking guard tower with a goddamn military rifle, obviously in military dress, and a guard uniform with a stun baton. Hey, mister, can I trade you for some 5.56 ammunition? I could really use it. I need it. Are you a trader? I couldn't shoot any of them. I mean, I may have at one point. That's kind of like off the record. He got buried out behind the pub, and I was the only card on dude.
I have often wondered about that phrase. For a time, I thought it was some sort of inside joke, and then I thought it perhaps was related to some mental illness, but so many people walk up and, got any 5.67s and 7.89s, got any 5.56s? They start throwing numbers at you like crazy,
Yeah.
and they all expect you to have it. It's phenomenal.
They expected everyone in the compound to actually, be a trader, and there's no medical staff, there's no bartenders, there's no guards or anything. Yeah, you're right. It's just a fucking compound where everyone sits on their ass and just displays their trade stuff. It's not like we had a fucking section for that or anything. Bloody hell. I'm fucking glad that place has been torched.
Yes, it's an unfortunate side effect of public settlements is they draw that particular type of patron like a moth to a flame. They all come out of the woodwork asking for 5.56s or whatever that is.
Yeah, I know where the majority of the bastards are now that worked at the company. A couple of us went our separate ways, and some of them joined other people, some of them stuck with me. For the most part, they're all on fucking Sclipsy right now.
Ah, that's good. Hopefully things are relatively peaceful down there.
They're not going to be that peaceful for long. They have a fugitive marked for death, sadly. And he won't leave them, as he's using him as a meat shield, so I'm going to need to have me and a lot of people go down there and collect him. Hopefully there's no issues. I would hate to put a bullet in a lot of my friends, but if I have to, I'll make sure that it's non-fatal.
Well, I certainly hope things go peacefully. I hope he listens to reason, but, well, at least I can be of service if any of your friends are injured in the process or in the effort. Please don't hesitate to ask. I'd be happy to head down there or do what I can to patch anyone up.
I'd be on standby Saturday just to make sure that anybody there that gets wounded, gets patched up. But if they get knocked out or anything like that, just, fix them up. Tell them to lay down their rifle.
Yes,
make sure that you're wearing fucking
reasonable.
bright white, so,
Oh, I'll make sure my attire is bleached and perfectly clean. My schedule should be relatively clear.
So,
You said this upcoming Saturday? I'll do my best.
Yes. Just make sure that you don't tell them. I'm going to do my absolute best to keep all of them alive, because I care very much about many of them, but Richard Harissa needs to die. Right. Well, on to the reason I came here, my brother's body.
Yes, of course. He's
I,
just in here.
I'll wait outside. I don't feel like stepping on any of your work. I'm not known for being a very graceful individual for more than a few things.
Let's see here.
Is there much of them left?
Yes, actually, the the remains were in remarkably intact condition, considering what he'd gone through.
Alright, good. I figured I would be shoveling them off the fucking ground of this tent. You know, I was kind of expecting a goddamn pancake when I heard the fucking noise over the radio.
This is the one. If you would be so kind, just...
Alright. I'm gonna have to sling him over my shoulder like, he's knocked out, but... Yeah. That's it.
This is...
Didn't ever, think I'd see him like this. I mean, without a bullet between the eyes. I figured he'd die in, combat, or, a duel, or some fucking stupid bullshit. Oh no.
It's a testament to the fact we never know how we're gonna go, but the one thing I did say upon discovery of the body is that if anyone in this entire country was going to take out Joffrey, well, Joffrey was the only one that could do that.
Yeah.
It makes a certain sense to it.
I'd have to agree. He was the one that kept getting away. The rest of the inmates, they and I, we had a chat. We'd agree one of us would walk out alive and the other one would be buried in Novi. I typically came out on top, but the bastard always kept getting away. I got one of his fucking mates one time, sort of, send a message to him. I don't think he ever got back. I think he bled out on the way home. So it was a bit of a strange relationship between my brother and I, but we all, resolved to bury each other in the same place.
It's good that that's what separates us from the animals,
Right.
is that we honor our dead. There we are. This should be good. There we are. It's not a strain on the shoulders that I think you should be able to bear the weight. You look like a big guy.
Little skinny, but I've carried a fair few of these things.
Excellent. Here, let me get behind you here real quick. Yeah, just 1 second. Just access to your back. These are Joffrey's possessions at time of death. Not much of it was usable. The clothing had to be discarded, but his trademark hat should be buried with him, I believe.
Yeah, aye. Anything in the bag, I'll bury with him. I used to bury fucking kings with all their personal items and such. Cross over to whatever fucking afterlife there is. Try to give him the dignity of what he was.
Here we are. 1776. Transferred ownership of possession of body to Mr. Stitches for burial. Not a moment too soon. Looks like the sun is rising to greet us. Should make the trek a bit more bearable. Nothing like trying to
Alright, I'll
lug
probably...
heavy cargo through the woods at night.
Well, I mean, that's typically where I, you know, do it with this sort of thing, and at that time. But, I believe that his body should have one more day. We'll bury him at sunset.
And that should be suitable.
I'll broadcast the results when I have time.
Excellent. I'll be standing by on the radio to hear, and if there's anything I can do to assist, of course, I'm only a radio call away. I'm sure you can handle everything, but it's always polite to offer, so... Let's see. From the message I deciphered,
Need anything?
I'm sure you know the place. Nobi Sabor Cemetery. He didn't give me a specific plot that I could hear, but I'm sure you know more about it than I do.
There's a few graves between two people that I know he liked fairly well. I'll put him there.
Excellent.
One of them, some bird that he was affectionate with. It was one of them. Someone got married in an over church one time, and Todd didn't really like it, so he kind of had me go with them, and we shot up a lot of them. And I think I killed the bride. I know that she's buried there. I don't know if it was Joffrey's sweetheart or someone else's.
Well, perhaps
Will
being
Rebecca
made to us,
something?
there will be a sort of justice.
We all did things that we regretted.
In the end, it all catches up with us.
I am just counting down the clock until I catch mine. It'll happen.
Little
Not
point in
too
worrying about it.
long.
May as well enjoy it till then.
That's how I live day to day. I usually don't think about it, but I know it's coming soon. Last of the inmates. So, hopefully I get buried there. Fucking doubt it. Knowing the way that people kill me, I'll probably be fucking strung up from some tree somewhere and left to rot.
Well, if you ever do end up on my table, I'll be sure to make your intentions of your burial known.
Just fucking cremate me and toss my ashes over the graveyard.
As you say.
Yeah, if I'm there, I'll probably be desecrated. Joffrey had some time to let things cool down. I don't know. I don't see there being a lull from now until my death.
Yes, I'm not thinking so either.
Well, let's hope the gun that kills me is loud enough so everyone hears where it came from and they can butch the cunt there.
That would be good. Suitable. The man who takes you down should go down as well. I'd personally rather go with old age in a bed, but I suppose that's a close second.
I'd probably rather die in a fight. More fun that way.
If you say so.
I mean, you see these poor bastards hit by cars and, ripped to shreds by infected in the walls, or, hung in a tree somewhere, or, begging for their life on their fucking knees and decapitated, all this shit. Meek little deaths.
Crying and dying of dysentery in a bed flooded with their own feces. Yes, I see what you mean.
Yeah, that's not the way I want to go. I'd rather go to a bullet.
I suppose that has a certain appeal to it when you put it that way.
Die loud. Don't die quietly. That sort of thing.
As long as it's quick and painless,
I'll make sure if I'm ever in a situation. Oh, I mean, I don't care if it's necessarily quick. Gives me more time to reload and fire some more shots before they take me down for fun. I'd probably rather be shot in the stomach than in the head, because then I can take out at least 2 of them.
That makes sense.
Well, I need to get there before sunset. It's a bit of a trek. I have to make some arrangements. And get him dressed and sorts, you know.
Ah, yes, of course. Best of luck with your arrangements. I do hope things go well, and I'll be listening on the radio for your follow-up.
Ah, aye. I'll remember this and so will me boys. We owe you
Happy to be of service.
one. Cheers. I'll be seeing you, Mr. West. Come on, Joffrey. I'm gonna go home. Alright. I'll close the door for you so the bodies don't come up here and repeat their shirts. That'd be a shame.
Much appreciated. Take care.
You as well.